He's slowly proper overall expertise how he's not as lightweight to recirculate yours takeaway coffee cup as human beings may include mind. The mix of document and plasticity in their internal pad, intended to do them both of warmth and hermetic, makes them hard to recirculate. Down there are now just a little quantity of expert seedling in the UK capable to trial the affordable utilized hobby, and as a outcome, the extensive most of them, more than rather than percent, dong tea get processed. In 2011 it was alleged how 2.5 trillion coffee hobby were deserted off every year and how drawing is potential to be high currently. Several of the largest sellers of coffee in the UK, consisting Costa and Starbucks, say they include begun recirculation coffee hobby, but how's just if customers manage of their takeaway hobby in keep. Ace UK, the member flesh for drink cardboard box manufacturers, has 382 recirculation points for coffee hobby and some document means through the UK. Hobby deposit there will be undertaken to the business's own expert recirculation factory. They are usually in places love car parks quite rather than on the road. Hobby how are leftward on the curb in domestic recirculation or in a bin on a top road or rail plant, yet, will usually end up in garbage dump. A increasing quantity of retailers and offices are purchase compostable hobby and one of the largest providers in the UK is Vegware, that makes its means out of any plasticity so they decompose. It sells compostable hobby to office space canteens, schools, hospitals and freelance coffee shops and its turnover include enlarged by more than rather than a tertiary in the recent 2 year. Yet, compostable hobby include to be inclined of in meal waste management bins quite rather than in a regular recirculation bin and the is in question for both of homeowners and link of cafes or job canteens. Truan Rest Oric, at Ecological Mercy Uproar, believes the law affordable technique is not ever precise to human beings and says, compostable sounds superior, but it can in fact do things worst if they are put in the incorrect granary. Since they are intended to break down downward, if they end up in the plasticity recirculation they can pollute it. The identical is real if you put an common takeaway coffee cup in the recirculation. The expenses councils cash in sort it and can though conduct to the entire party of processed items creature discarded. Vegware says its means job top in an environmental wherever the waste management can be controllable, love a fest. In such various of environments human beings are potential to buy a sip local and cast it off local. The ratio of recirculation how gets discarded is yet comparatively little, although, less than rather than 5%. If compostable hobby end up in garbage dump, in comparison with plastic they will break down downward. But the misses the prospect to gear the power manufactured via compost for else use, as fertilizer or though to produce power. The 3 largest coffee retailers in the UK, Costa, Starbucks and Caffè Nero, all ensure incentives for customers to give in their own reused mug quite rather than with a affordable bowl. Costa and Starbucks propose a 25p rebate time Caffè Nero giving dual stamps on its customer loyalty map, that it says is equivalent in importance to 25p. Greggs and Pret a Crèche, the largest meal-focused sellers of coffee onto retailer consulting Allegra strategies, as well include rebate schemes. Pret is the largest lavish in a 50p rebate for shunning solitary use hobby. Starbucks has proposed a rebate for customers in the UK with their own mugs with it outdoor in 1998, and says on 1.8% of all hot drinks sold out are in reused hobby. The coffee store circuit is trialling a 5p latte fee accusation on document hobby in 35 branch in London, a schedule offered on a domestic standard by MPs and discarded by the government in March. The test has been in transactions for 6 weeks so he's too quickly to magistrate it's successful, but previous indications are how it has enlarged turnover of drinks in reused hobby compared in a rebate one. Costa Coffee says on 1% of hot drinks it sells are in reused mugs and how has been consecutive with the rebate was entered. The business doesn't include information on reused cup use of up the stimulus schema was entered, so he's hard to say if the rebate himself is hopeful several human beings to use non-disposable hobby. Cafe Nero Dong Tea include figures on how lot drinks are sold out in reused hobby since they offer additional customer loyalty map stamps as an stimulus quite rather than discount the sip himself.